welcome to Pre-Match Focus with your host, me, Tim.
And me, Lee. How you doing, mate?
Hi, bud, you?
Yes, we've just mentioned in the build-up that we've both been quite tired this week. Well, I think everyone's tired this week. But...
Sounds like the same old where you come on and you sound like, I'm going to sound like a right boring old fart today. Don't say tired. Busy, tired, busy,
That's
tired.
all we ever say, isn't it? It's all we ever say. But we are getting old, so.
Yeah, don't remind me, mate.
Oh, no. Maybe we just need another holiday in Spain. We'll be all right.
I think we need to organise that soon, don't we?
Yeah. Get out of the country, if ever they let us.
Now's a better time than ever.
I know. But yeah, I've got the proper blues this week for it.
Yeah, me too. Plus the storm's brewing.
Storm Dudley. It's a local one now. It's coming towards your end, yeah. So
I know it's going to be rough. I've been out there putting pins in trampolines a lot. Honestly.
Yeah. Have you bought the guinea pigs in as well?
Yeah, they're in. They had a little mooch out today, but they're in, and
they're not going to be classed as a flying debris. Then there's a danger to life.
No, not at all. Poor things. So I've literally done a lot of windproofing everything today, like everywhere. So see what happens.
I need to remind myself to stop letting the cat out because she needs to keep going out for a little doze about the garden, and we might actually see her go through the fence or something. So I need to be careful. Yeah, be like Kurt Zuma's thing in the garden. She's quite fat. She'll be all right. That wind won't blow her away anyway.
Oh, bless her. Should be surprised. Right then. So we've got just Saturday and Sunday games this week. So starting with a 12:30 kickoff, which is West Ham at home to Newcastle. This could be a very, very good game, Leroy.
Yeah, it could be the best game of the week to start it off. I think Newcastle's games are coming quite the most entertaining, almost trying to get back the Keegan days a little bit, aren't they? But
yeah,
with their fight to stay up, I think they're making it a bit more entertaining now, and obviously going with confidence with it as well.
Starting to come together a little bit now, isn't it? So yeah. I'm going to go back, and I need to hold my hands up here. Plus, I'm dressed in black and white for the cause. I'm going to hold my hands up, and I said that I couldn't see him bringing anybody in the January window, because who'd want to come into a club which is ultimately fighting relegation with the potentially massive chance of going down. And not only that, they'd probably only be going for the money.
Yeah.
And shallow Kieran Trippier went and shit me out big time. And went and signed for him, and then Wood, and I was just like, well, there you go. That's already relegated one of your opponents by Chris Wood going there. And then, and then they're just adding more and more. So fair play. I think, I think they'll do all right. I think they'll be comfortable now. I think as you see that league table now, is there might be a couple of changes in positions, but that's who's going down. Yeah,
I'd agree with that. But at this moment in time, unless something drastic starts changing over the coming weeks, but unless Roy Hodgson starts working his magic, which just don't look like it's gonna.
It doesn't. It just seems like a bridge too far, doesn't it?
Yeah. But you mentioned with Newcastle, I mean, a lot of people sort of laugh at them. I think people laugh at them because a lot of them are British signings again, don't they? But they're actually, or players that have been based in Britain for a long time. So in Chris Wood's case, he's a New Zealander, but he's practically played over here all his career, hasn't he?
Yeah.
But because they're not fancy names, people have been laughing at them, and the prices have been a little bit hiked up. But
it's not about the big names. That's what United's problem's been. It's all about the pieces to fit the puzzle.
They know the league.
And do it.
Yeah, they all know the league. I think the only one who hasn't had that experience, obviously, is Gomeres, isn't it?
Yeah.
I think they're trying to bed him.
He might take a bit of time to bed in a little bit.
Yeah, well, he has been on the bench a couple of games, hasn't he? So obviously, seems to probably trying to blend him into the division, like, you know, say this is what it's going to be. I did listen to a French football expert the other day saying, like, he sort of come on leaps and bounds because he wasn't amazing.
That good. I know, I heard that.
Yeah.
I think I've seen the same thing as you.
It's only in the last year or so he started showing something, so he might have to start over again to get used to this league, because they were saying he was struggling back to the French league at first. We'll see. Not seen much of it. I don't even know if he's entered the pitch yet, but I think he has for a short while, hasn't he? But...
Yeah. Well, let's talk about West Ham. Yeah,
it's a bit of a sketchy one.
A turbulent month or so, haven't it, for them? You know, they've had a bit of an up and downy kind of period, haven't they? Quite lucky, really, in some respects, to still be around fourth. Obviously, United have taken fourth again now, but
you just wonder whether they've either been found out or they're lacking seriously in confidence. I mean, like, even though they've took 4 points from the last two games, it was a narrow one.
I just think they shattered, mate.
Probably, yeah. Well, they're back in the Europa League now, aren't they? So.
Exactly. So they're back in the Europa League coming up. They've been in cups, which they've had good runs in. They've these same players have played week in, week out. You know, he doesn't change too much.
Yeah, it doesn't change. It doesn't know. It's pretty much the same.
So they must, and obviously the fact that people find you out by the fact that when you rotate, it's hard for you to be able to come up with a plan because you're not sure who's going to play in that system. So when you've got a team like David Moyes' West Ham, you can pretty much guarantee, bar an injury or bar an absolute shocker, that they might switch over someone like, I don't know, because what's he called? Oh, Lanzini's always in and out.
You got
Yarmolenko comes in and out. Do you know what I mean? These kind of players, they're the only differences half the time.
Yeah, might use them in the Europa League, haven't they?
Yeah. So maybe they have been found out a bit. Maybe they have been. But I don't know. I just think it's going to be a good game, this one. But I think it's going to be a stalemate. I think it's going to be a draw. I think it's going to be a 2-2 draw.
Well, I was trying to find out whether they're playing tonight. I think they are, aren't they? West Ham.
Are they playing in Europa tonight?
Yeah, but then again, I haven't seen them. I've seen Leicester advertised, but I haven't seen West Ham. Maybe they aren't. No, I don't know. Oh, I think they've got a bye. I think some teams have got a bye, haven't they, for this round? So I'm sure it's something to do with the group winners of certain groups.
See, Rangers.
Yeah, great win, wasn't it? Have obviously took advantage of Ireland not playing there, haven't they? So.
Bellingham scored though, didn't he?
He did, yeah. Meant to have been a good goal as well. Yeah, I mean, like with West Ham, they've narrowly beat Watford, who are obviously well out of form, and then Leicester, they've just nicked the point at the end, didn't they? And Leicester have probably been the worst out of form team, a lot of them, so it has raised a few alarm bells for them. But I think they'll just, even though Newcastle got the better record in recent head-to-heads, I think West Ham will nick this one 2-1. I don't know why. Maybe a little bit of home support might just push them through, even though it sounds like a flush toilet half the time at the London Stadium.
Yeah, but when it is rocking a bit, it seems like it sounds quite loud in there.
Yeah.
Especially when Lingard were playing there back end of last season.
Yeah, definitely. There was raising the volumes that weren't there. It's a shame. I do miss the old traditional grounds. I think I sort of hate on the new traditional stadiums, looking like Olympic stadiums all the time. Well, there is an Olympic stadium, but others do as well, don't they? Seem so far away from the ground. I like enclosed stadiums.
I do. I like it by the pitch. I do. I must admit, it's nice and close.
And Upton Park was one of my favourite grounds. Just proper traditional.
That was.
So that going, I was just sort of lost a bit of interest in following West Ham a bit, but because I do like
West Ham. Tight get. Shame on you.
Yeah, I'd have been, apart from taking Wolves out of the equation, I'd have been pushing for them to be the top 14, but I'm not really that bothered if they get it or not, to be honest with you. I don't know why. It's something different, which would be nice, but I have that difference.
I think you like shaping up nicely for it. So
They just got to kick out. I think they'll nick something here, though. I don't know why. I think that's just a gut instinct on that one, but we'll see.
Right, so what's your tip then?
Over 2.5 goals in this one. I think there will be goals. The West Ham have been conceding a fair bit recently, and Newcastle just score goals, don't they, and concede. So.
Yeah, definitely, yeah. Right then, so on to the 3 o'clock kickoff, which first one is Arsenal at home to Brentford.
Brentford have been pretty poor away most times I've seen them.
Yeah, they've not travelled well this year, have they?
No, the only time they've looked good is when they beat Wolves, and ever since then they haven't done anything away. I mean, like even when Spurs were, I mean, even though they're in bad form now, but like when they was going through a rough patch before, when Spurs just didn't even get into second gear and they still beat them, and Brentford just nowhere to be seen really. I think Ivan Toney's a date for this game as well, so big miss up top. I think they'll just be defending for the lives, see what they can do. Arsenal from what I've seen of them look quite compact these days and know what the roles are. It's not too easy on the eye. I think Martinelli being out might be a bit of a miss because I was impressed by him when I saw him the other week.
I think it might be a bit closer than we think because Brentford are a big old side and Arsenal are full of kids, really. You know,
They've got some big guys as well there to match them.
Physical battle for them. So, I don't know, it'd be interesting. I think Arsenal will win. I think it's going to be 2-1.
I've gone 2-0.
2-0.
The only reason for that, I mean, like, things change throughout courses of different games, but they just haven't shown enough for me going forward, Brentford away from home. So, and like I say, Arsenal have been quite organised to an extent. So, Ben White and Gabriel are doing quite well at the moment. I think Brentford's chances trying to exploit the right back position, where obviously Tommy Asu's out at the moment.
Yeah.
And to be fair, I wasn't that impressed with Kieran Tierney when
he's not really done a great deal, has he?
No, he seems very like a little rabbit in the headlights at times. I mean, that's the difference from what I saw at Celtic, where he looked fearless. He looked like Luke Shaw when he was at Southampton, just bombing past people. Now he seems to like have been hit a bit of confidence there, I think.
Boots him a bit.
Yeah. I've gone 2-0 Arsenal.
All right. So what's your tip for this game then, Leroy?
Because of the 2-0, I've gone for Arsenal to keep a clean sheet.
Arsenal clean sheet. Ooh. Clean sheet. Okay. Right. The second of the 3 o'clock kickoffs on Saturday is Aston Villa at home to Watford.
That spark's gone in Gerrard's team, hasn't it, at the moment?
A little bit. The hype's gone a bit, hasn't it now?
Something's not clicking there. I think they've got the Coutinho bit right because he's linking up well with Jacob Ramsey, who's looking.
He is. Absolutely, yeah.
He's bringing out the best in him. You know, he's seeing what Coutinho's doing, and he's pretty much emulating it, isn't he? So,
but do you want me to tell you where their problem lies?
Up top, by the look of it at the moment.
Ollie Watkins is not an out-and-out striker.
He didn't start
He's
out
not a box striker, and that's what they need. They're crying out for it. Absolutely crying out for a box striker. I bet he's looking at what he had with Morelos, and he's thinking, this guy would be perfect for my team now. Yeah.
Well, I think he scored again tonight, didn't he? So he's come back on some good form. It wouldn't surprise me to see Morelos at Villa in the summer.
Yeah, there's our little tip.
Yeah. Or Ryan Kent seem to be his favourites, didn't they? I think Tavernier is a bit old, but a bit too old to make it into a team.
Moving down there.
It is with Watkins at the moment. To be fair, I really rate it. I really like him, but
I like him. He's busy. He holds the ball up really well. His link-up play is pretty good, but The problem is when they're getting that ball in that box or anywhere where you need an out-and-out striker, he's nowhere to be seen. He's absolutely, or when he is, he's always like, it's too late. It's like stretching and just not quite doing enough, not quite there with everything. It seems like he's just not quite there. And it's a shame because they're making a lot of chances, Villa. You know, they just can't score them.
But this is where you've got to get Ings in there. You've paid a lot of money for him, a proven goal scorer, but they just haven't played him consistently because of Watkins being there, really. But
exactly, yeah.
It's where you've got to try and give him a run of games, get his confidence
back. To be honest, I'd play Ings every day before I play Watkins, to be fair. Ings is proven. Ings scores goals. You if he's not 1 in 1, he's 1 in 2, you know, easily. He will score.
He just needs those run of minutes, doesn't he? Just to play a full 90 minutes.
You've just got to get your eye in and get your your accuracy, just know where you're at. And it only comes with playing games, doesn't it? You know, so he's not going to do well just sat on the bench seeing his 30s out, like, you know. Yeah,
I think Gerrard should notice this before anyone. It wouldn't surprise me seeing Ings replace an out-of-form Watkins at the weekend. So
I think he'll probably pay dividends as well.
If he does do it, I think Villa will win the game. But I've had it for 1-1 for this one. I know Hodgson's going to make them hard to beat. Whatever results they get there with Watford, you know, it'll just be tough for teams to break them down either way. Which is a bit weird because you look at that team under the previous managers and they're scoring about 3 or 4 past them, wasn't there? So it's amazing what a bit of knowledgeable coaching can do.
I think Ings will come in for Watkins, and I think it will be Aston Villa 3, Watford 1.
So they'll all get back down then.
Yeah. I just think that's where it's clear. It's clear where the problems lie. And sometimes you've got to be taken out the firing line in order to kind of prove where the problem is. And if you bring Ings back into that now, and he goes and, as he does, bags of brace, and then say Jacob Ramsey with the other one, you can't not see that. And Watford chips are so down with them at the minute that
every game's got to be the old cliche, but a cup final for them now, hasn't it? So they're going to get grittier, I think. But Villa should be winning the game, but I just get a feeling maybe Watford might just nick a point here with a 1-1.
1-1. And what's your tip for that one?
It's tough to look at any team ones here, so just to keep an eye out on any time goal scorers. You don't have to put you could put them both on if you wanted to, but continue to score for Villa or Dennis to score for Watford.
Very good. You heard the man. Right, on to Brighton at home to Burnley.
It's probably the most unattractive picture ever on paper, isn't it, brother?
I did think this. I don't think he'll be a dull scorer. I think Brighton will comfortably win. I think it'll be 2-0. I'm going straight in with a kill with this one. I think honestly, Burnley, apart from when they picked themselves up for the United match, I just don't see it. I just don't see where the threat is anymore.
Liverpool only narrowly beat them as well, but like you say, it's just scoring goals at the moment, isn't it? They lost the main man up top. I know Cornet's obviously coming and being a bit of a different, and Begos should be able to nick a couple here and there, but I mean, they've got to start changing the philosophy, and it's only going to happen when Deutsch goes. I think he'll be someone who's setting his ways of it. But will they rely on him to bring him back up again? Will he go down to the Championship? He's quite a well-known Premier League manager now, isn't he? So
yeah.
I think if I was...
you know what? If they went, there'd be a few queuing up for him. I think he'd be a lower down in the league teams.
It'll just be whoever pulls the trigger first next season. He'll be the favourite, won't he? Depending on if he fits their mantra, I suppose. I say if Wolves sat their manager, I don't think Wolves would be looking at him, to be honest with you.
How's about a long shot?
Man City.
Newcastle.
I think they'd probably see Eddie Howe as a more progressive attacking manager, and I don't think they'd want to go back that way. But I wouldn't ever rule it out. I'm probably thinking more along the lines of maybe a Leeds if they wanted to change the way, because I can't see the season.
I reckon if Burnley go down and one of the, I don't know, say, I don't know, who could you think? Someone further up the table. There's a couple of managers that start getting taken here and there because that's what happens, isn't it? Someone goes to somewhere, then they've got to replace them, so they hire somebody, and then somebody comes available. I see a little pattern. I'm thinking like Brendan Rodgers is involved. I'm thinking Bielsa's involved. I'm thinking Conte's involved.
Oh yeah. But would they go for those?
Hassan Hüttel is involved.
Do you think
Sean Dyche, Brighton?
Yeah, but if Potter moved on to something like Spurs or something like that.
Potter.
Because I had Potter to be Spurs manager before Nuno went there. I was convinced he was going to go, but never happened. But
maybe a switcheroo between some of these, because I think Bielsa might go.
Yeah, I can't see him seeing it past this year. There's something don't seem right with his body language.
No, something's not right there. So
any team on there, I'd say
Leeds is a big club.
Yeah, definitely.
So I could see someone like Graham Potter going to Leeds.
I think he'll be Spurs, I do. I really do. I think they'll.
Well, yeah, possibly.
I can't see Conte last. I'll be surprised if he lasts the season, Conte. He's
not happy, is he?
No. It's a shame managers have to come in and realise they made a mistake. It's rare you'll see that the manager feels they made a mistake. Usually the owners have pulled the trigger, aren't they?
But you just wonder what he was promised in that game when they were signing him in, for him to be kind of go against the grain, and literally publicly saying all these things. He's not asked, is he? So, no. Well, you got to wonder what he was promised in the first place. When he signed, because everyone were like, "Oh, he's gone to Tottenham. That's interesting."
I wonder if he hadn't properly looked into the players he was actually taking on as well, which would be stupid, really, for someone of his.
But you'd expect he has.
But maybe not in the flesh. Because that defence, I mean, we'll go on to them in a bit when we go into their game. That defence against Wolves was embarrassing.
Yeah, it was. I can't defend their defence, to be honest. I can't say anything, but Tottenham.
That's including the goalkeeper as well. Including the goalkeeper is meant to be.
The problem is, I think in midfield they're weak as well.
Yeah,
I just think, and those are the two key areas. It doesn't matter. You could have like a shit off, like the best player in the world up front. Doesn't matter.
They've got one of the best strikers in the world, haven't they? But he's off it this year as well. So.
Yeah, but you could have the best goalkeeper in the world. But if you've got like two or more of your defenders, which are absolutely average, and you've got two or more of your midfielders, which are absolutely average, because the wide players, the attackers, the fullbacks tend to be RE, not too bad. But when you start going down that middle, boom, Højbjerg's not. He's all right. He's nothing special.
There's no creativity. It's almost
sideways. That's all he does. He's just passing balls like long distance sideways, and it's so predictable. It's boring, and he doesn't make any defense splitting passes. He's got all that space. You see him with the ball in the middle of the D, in the center circle. You're just thinking, no one's near you. And you've seen all these people make these runs, and you've got willing runners. There's plenty of willing runners in that team. Your Sons, your Kanes, your Moras, they all run. So there's something not right. So honestly, I just think realistically, when you've got your central midfield pairing and your central defensive pairing quite poor, you're never going to compete.
Sort of remind me, it's like almost like Nuno's gone from Wolves where it was the same, and then he's took it on to Tottenham and they're the same, because as great as Neves is, he always plays a little deeper, and you struggle to get that like extra man in the box when you're going forward, and that really he's definitely miles ahead of what Spurs are going in the middle of their park at the moment. But that shows where Spurs are. Højbjerg and Skip aren't creative enough in the middle. They'll probably have a bit of skill.
If you've got players like looking at your club and they're like, oh, so who are going to play alongside Højbjerg and Skip?
It's it doesn't give you the star-studded attraction.
It's behind us then. There must be some good centre halves behind us. Davinson Sanchez and Eric Dyer.
By name and nature. Ben Davies, who's
but this is where I'm getting at. Emerson Royal's not all that either.
I actually quite like Tanganga, but he has his mistakes.
He has some hothead moments though, doesn't he?
Yeah.
So
I think that's what I like about him. I think I like that he's got a bit of fire in him, but I wouldn't mind him.
But when your team's vulnerable anyway, it doesn't work. It doesn't mould well, because the last thing you need when you're a vulnerable team is to go down to 10 men. And, that defence and that midfield don't need more pressure at all. So they almost keep scores down sometimes by the fact that they do play the ball in the channels too, like Son, Mora, whoever, there's been plenty of them. Even Bergwijn, when he comes in, he runs the channels really well. So
yeah, I suppose he doesn't get. He is starting to get in some games now, isn't he? But I suppose he's never had a fair crack of the whip. But
no, I was really.
But we ain't got to talk about Spurs on the Man City game now. We've done the Spurs bit. Brighton and Burnley, it's not the most attractive on the paper. That's probably justified it because we just trailed off it. But
sorry, Brighton and Burnley fans.
Yeah, I mean,
we're doing a Carragher and Neville on them.
I think there's been something like 12 draws in the last 20 meetings, which is ridiculous, I think, did I go for a draw on this? I think I did, didn't I? Yes, I did.
Have you?
I went for a 0-0.
0-0?
I think Brighton will try to break them down. They'll be the most, in domination of the ball. But I think Burnley, you'll see a similar story as to they have done in many games where they just managed to nick a point and a clean sheet. So, yeah. I mean, some of the games, the last few games, even though a fair few draws in there, there's been a fair few goals, but there has been a couple of 0-0s popped in there as well. I can see that sequence going on. Another 0-0 being thrown in between it for the history books.
I've gone 2-0 Brighton.
You did say Brighton at the start, didn't you? I just don't remember the
score. What's your tip for that
then? Well, they're both
naughty to score.
I'm not going to do the under 2.5 because it'll end up 4-4 if I do it. So.
Oh, go for it.
Now, they're both teams that pick up a fair lot of bookings, so I've gone for over 45 booking points. An alternative, if you are on Sky Bet, it's easier to get better odds on that. So they do like 30 plus points and 40 plus points. Look into that as well. You get better, I wouldn't say better odds than what William will offer, but it's not far off. And if you get 30 points, you're going to get that bet in way quicker than what you would on William Hill, where you need 5 bookings to win a bet.
Right. Okay, then. Right, then, over to Crystal Palace at home to Chelsea, then, Leroy.
It's going to be a tough one to predict, really, because I just don't know how Chelsea are going to come back. I mean, they should be buzzing, but they've won this thing for the first time. A bit of a Mickey Mouse tournament to me, but I suppose.
Have you heard the debate?
What's that one?
We're going to settle this debate as like as neutrals, right? So the debate was Is Kai Havertz classed as a Chelsea legend?
Well, because
He
of
scored in the Champions League final, and he scored in the World Club Cup thing.
that's going to be something for. I don't think you can settle that debate now. I think it's going to be something where it comes down the line of when he leaves Chelsea that you'll have that. But because he's still very young, isn't he? It'll almost have, for me now, he has the same tag as what Divock Origi does at Liverpool. So he's sort of like a terrace legend for the important goals, maybe. But so I thought what's it called was going off, and my computer was going off, and I thought I lost you then. Yeah, I think he's got the same mantra as Divock Origi got at the moment. Until he leaves Chelsea, I can answer that question then whether he's a legend or not. He's very early into his career.
I agree.
But he's a good player. I like him, but he just doesn't seem to fit Chelsea's mould at the moment, does he?
Struggling a bit.
Yeah, same with Vern. I think Vern is a great player. He just can't finish. But he's off the ball movement.
Ironically, if you put him in United's team, I think he'd do really well.
Yeah, I mean, like, he almost reminds me of what Diego Forlan was when he was at Man United. He just couldn't hit a barn door, could he?
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, he'll probably move on and score a shitload of goals. So.
Yeah. Oh, guaranteed. You know it.
It's not going to be easy for Chelsea. Palace, they're really on and off, aren't they? They can be shit up one week and then shit the next. So
yeah, I've come off my Crystal Palace branch anyway.
Have you?
Yeah, I think I'm glad they've got to this point, and I think they'll be very comfortable. You know, they're not going to go down or anything. But I don't know. Even Conor Gallagher's like struggled a bit this last month or so, and he hasn't really.
Well, they'll have to cope with it in for this one unless they've got in the deal. It's very rare you play against your parent club, isn't it?
He won't be playing in this game.
No. Yeah, I've gone for. I think Chelsea should come back and winning. Should have a bit of confidence from winning the Club World Cup, wherever. I mean, I don't know. Did you ever take seriously when United were in there? Did you want to win it when you was there, or did you see it as a glorified friend?
Never ever bothered about it.
No.
Never bothered.
It almost seems like a Community Shield, but with 2 games. That's all I see it as. But yeah, it's a strange one, really, isn't it? Because it should have that prestige to it, shouldn't it? Because you're competing against the champions of the other continents.
It just doesn't have any shine to it. It doesn't. Yeah. It just seems like inappropriate. It's like it just seems like it's another hassle, like in the middle of a season when you don't need it. It's stupidly placed as well.
I mean, if we ever got to it, yeah, but I can understand in the middle of the season. You mean?
Don't worry, Lee. You ain't getting in it.
I was gonna say if we go in it,
you don't
I probably will take it seriously.
Not in your lifetime, kiddo.
We jump on any bandwagon. I think we classed ourselves as unofficial champions of the world when we beat Onvid, I think so. We'll jump on anything to try and get to the top of the world.
Do you know what? I hope, right, for yours and every other Wolves fan's sake, that I'm absolutely wrong. I hope I'm absolutely wrong, because it'll be another Leicester story. And I like that. And that's what football's about. That's what it should be about. We've always talked about we like it when it's a bit of a competition, and obviously now the fact that City are walking away with it again. Well, they are and they aren't. I still believe that these 9 points, or somewhere they're ahead. And then if Liverpool win their game in hand, that becomes 6 points. Then they've got to play them. That could become 3 points. You're starting to look at, and then if Chelsea manage to beat them, there's your difference. So it's not over yet, and Liverpool are looking better now as well. So anyway, we'll get to that shortly. So I've said 3-1 Chelsea, me bud.
2-1 Chelsea. I've gone with
2-1.
Yeah.
And what's your tip for this one?
The old favourite, both score, no draw.
Both score, no draw. Had to come out.
It's the only time it comes out this week, though.
Yeah. Right, so on to the first of who we were just talking about. Liverpool at home to Norwich.
Yeah, you take balls out of the equation. I think they're the two informed teams in the league, aren't they? And City, obviously. But usually it just ends up with Liverpool absolutely tonking Norwich.
Yeah.
I see no different for this one, to be honest with you, with it being at Anfield. They don't seem to have blown too many teams away there this season, though, do they?
No. No, not like they were last year.
Yeah, where there was hitting 4, 5, 6s. I think people, again, I think this is one where they can't sort of like get the result at places, but these teams like Norwich know all about Salah, Mane, Jota, them types, and they need to deal with them a little bit better than the last time.
Many a goal against them. And this one's going to be no different. I've gone with 4-0.
Have you gone 4-0? 3-0 I've gone with.
I've gone with 4. They're going to get slapped.
I was going to say...
I like Norwich. I like Norwich fans. I've been there myself, but I tell you what, I'm sorry, guys. You just may as well not bother going. They're going to get absolutely slapped. Unless you're going out for a piss-off afterwards, there's no point in going to that game. You're just going to be really disappointed and you're going to bury yourself in your bovril. And that is a...
If this was Liverpool about 7-8 years ago, you'd probably get there and nick a 1-0. I always remember us doing it with Stephen Ward, who he played as a makeshift striker for one game and he scored the winner. So,
yeah. Do you know what? Honestly, for me, not liking Liverpool, being a United fan, come on the Canaries. But it ain't happening. It just isn't happening.
I was going to mention an old historical, one of the players who I suppose against clubs as well, and obviously Doctor was found his club in Leicester now. He's scored an hat-trick against them for Wolves, scored an hat-trick against them for Porto. And since he's gone to Liverpool, I think he's scored in every game against them. And do you remember Suarez doing it against Norwich every time? I think John Ruddy was
scored every game against them.
Yeah. I think he scored an hat-trick about 3 times against them. He's even scoring from the halfway line against them.
Do you remember that one where he tonked it?
There's one of the best hat-tricks I've ever seen.
He absolutely tonked it on the move, didn't he? And he went... Yeah, brilliant goal.
But he was one of them. He really didn't want to be facing Suarez. I bet he was glad when he went. But I'm glad he ain't in goal for us when if Suarez came back for the Premier League. So I'll be worried. I've gone 3-0 Liverpool on this. Can't see much discussion to mention anything else other than that, really.
No, I think it'd be a shame to labour the fact that they're going to get smashed.
I've had Liverpool themselves to score over 2.5 goals in that. So it's a team's goal 1, that is. So Liverpool themselves to score over 2.5 goals.
Okay. Right, on to the last of the 3 o'clock kickoffs for Saturday. It is Southampton at home to Everton. Lee Roy.
Yes, interesting one. This is so you can't really still tell what Everton are, because are they going to put in the same forms as what they did against Newcastle, where they were shocking away from home, and they've been shocking away from home all season. Probably worse than Brentford away from home. So
yeah, I don't think Lampard's going to do what everyone thinks he's going to do, though.
What I was going to mention is Sean Dyche. He's been linked with Everton every time they've lost their manager. I think Lampard will be there next season, whatever happens. But so long as they don't get relegated, I think he'll be there. So
I don't think they'll get relegated. They'll be quite low down, though, I should imagine. Because I've also thought, that's my thought replicated in this. I've gone with Southampton to carry on absolutely playing a blinder. I think they're going to win 2-1.
Yeah, they played well at Man Utd last week as well, didn't they? And
they've not played well.
Yeah, but they seem to do this, don't they? They get to a bit of a slow start, maybe have a bit of a tonking off a team, and then they start picking up a bit of form. Then people keep getting, every time Aston seems that close to losing his job, they just get better and better.
He ain't getting fired in a hurry, mate.
Nah.
The only way he ain't getting fired, someone will have him for that.
He's been linked with United before himself, hasn't he, in the past? You know, so it just shows that they obviously rate him. So
well, Rangnick will rate him as well.
Yeah, definitely.
He'll continue that kind of football that they want to lay the foundations for. I don't think I won't put it past them. They'll probably look to how Southampton finish and probably think to themselves, I think he could do something here, because I think they can finish top 8.
There's an opportunity there. They keep a little bit of passing the form going. I think they just draw too many games to probably.
Yeah, but the problem is, if you're drawing, you're not losing. If you're drawing the games where you'd have lost before, then you're still gaining, aren't you?
I think they're going to be looking to finish top half, and they'll be happy with that.
Yeah, definitely, yeah.
When I was growing up, there was always that team fighting to stay up. So
Letizia.
Yeah, just kept them up every season, didn't they?
Yeah, he did, yeah.
I was watching his best goals yesterday on Sky. Ridiculous. It's so effortless, wasn't it?
So good. I like following him on Twitter as well. He's quite interesting.
Yeah. Don't care, does it?
Oh, brilliant. Right, so anyway, what are you saying?
I've gone 1-0 Southampton on this one. And for the bet, it'll be Southampton double chance, so a win or a draw will win you the rest. With Southampton's drawing record, they should be coming in really. So
because they're harder to beat, they're easier to draw with.
Yeah. It depends what Everton team are going to turn, but from what I've seen of them away, they just can't get going. So
Van der Beek's looking good though.
Yeah, he was praising him today as well, Lampard, and I think we'll see the best of him now. We'll see what we saw at Ajax really when they're.
We'll see what United are missing.
Yeah, indeed. They stick with Matic, mate. She'll be all right.
Oh dear, it's poor, isn't it? So anyway, and the 5:30 kickoff, which sees the big one, I suppose, the weekend, is Man City at home to Tottenham.
I'll keep it brief on Spurs because we have mentioned them, but if I defend the way they did against Wolves and against City, they're going to get absolutely pulverised. So. But again, City, like Liverpool, haven't really been tearing teams. I mean, they've done
They
it on
haven't
the other
been prolific, have they?
Yeah. Winning about 2-3-0, something like that, haven't they?
They're looking more prolific in the Champions League.
Yeah. Well,
they're scoring 4s and 5s in the Champions League religiously. So
Lisbon probably just don't even bother turning up to the next league. That was gone by half hour yesterday. That was
still having nightmares.
Yeah, I think I'd say City win. I'm sure everyone would say the kind of City win. It'd be revenge as well for the first. This is by the way, it's the reverse of the first game of the season, isn't it?
Yeah.
So, and obviously Spurs won that game. 8 times changed. They won their first 3 games, I think it was, wasn't it?
And
beating the champions.
No chance in this one.
I'll be very surprised. I mean, even Conte. Well, we've always come out and said now how the players going to get themselves up for that. So,
like that, looking at managers, the camera will be like, "There's Pep Guardiola, yeah, and then we."
You see him walking down
there
the tunnel.
There he is on the plane there.
Yeah. Just dropping his white
match.
waving his white flag. It won't be a Spurs one.
No. 3-1.
I've gone 3-1.
Whoosh.
I don't know why I think Spurs will score because they didn't look like scoring against us half the time. So.
Harry Kane.
Yeah, I mean, they did it against Chelsea, didn't they? Well, where he had that goal disallowed wrongly.
Harry Kane with his come and get me plea.
Yeah, he'll probably want to put on the performance, won't he? He can't be there in the summer, surely now. He's got to be gone from there. Yeah. He can't keep sticking at it. I know he's been poor by his own standards this season, but that's because he wants it. I think he's generally been really forced to stay. And I think they've resigned to the fact they've probably had another gentleman's agreement, like they said before, and I think that now this time he's up.
He's got something in writing this time, I reckon.
Yeah, Yeah, he ain't staying there, mate.
You're making that mistake again.
I mean, he was praising Conte before, but now he's sure looking at him thinking, the only way he's staying is if Conte is staying himself and he says, I'm going to rebuild this team in the summer. But I can't see that happening.
They need it. They need it. Honestly, even Son doesn't look interested.
That's saying something, isn't it? You know, the effort he puts in as well. So,
So anyway, what's your tip for this one then, Leroy?
the City, along with Liverpool, one of the highest teams at getting corners in. So obviously Spurs should contribute at least 2 or 3 of them, I think. And then City will probably get about, on average, about 7, 8 themselves. So over 9.5 corners is a tip for that.
Over 9.5 corners. No worries. Right, so on to, that concludes Saturday's fixtures. So on to Sunday the 20th of February, and that is the 2 o'clock kickoff, which is
Tasty one.
Dirty Leeds at home to Man United.
I'll probably miss the end of this because I'll be going to Molyneux on the. I think I might just catch the end.
Don't you?
Yeah, I might just catch the end. We'll see. Well, it takes about an hour to get in the bloody stadium. So
go fashionably late and you just straight in.
It's still a nightmare to get in. There's still got bloody 1930s turnstiles on the go. So absolute nightmare.
Into the stadium.
Yeah, I don't feel. Who was that? What stadium was that before when that bloke landed in the middle of it? Was it Coventry or something?
Beat the queue.
Yeah, he didn't end very well for him, did he? I think he was broken ribs and everything.
I think he did, yeah. Paralysed.
Let's hope he's all good and well these days. We haven't heard of him.
Yeah, if you're listening, some miraculous chance. And I hope you're doing well, mate. You know.
With the game itself, obviously, you expect lower of the goals, but when they played at Ellenborough last season, it was a 0-0, wasn't it?
Yeah, I don't think it'll be 0-0.
It shouldn't be.
They'll both score.
Well, there you go. Just give them a tip there. Both teams score.
Both teams score. Like it. Over. Right, next.
If only it was that quick and easier.
Oh, no. No.
Yeah.
Go on.
It'll be a good game. Like I say, Sham probably won't be able to catch the whole lot of this, but
have you put us to draw?
No, I've had you to win.
Oh, that's all right. And you made us win 2-1, haven't you?
Yeah.
So have I. I'm glad we're in agreement. But I just think it's not prayer, but we're finding a way to get points.
Yeah, definitely. I think they've been a bit unlucky with certain disallowed goals in recent weeks as well.
And I think United fans have got to look at it now. Yeah, it's not great. It's not great at all. But where we were struggling before is picking up points. We were 7th. We were like really struggling. We're 4th at the minute. Yeah, obviously the teams around us have got 2 and 3 games on us. But you see what happens in football. Some of these teams ain't winning 2 on the bounce at the minute. So there's chance yet for United to still hold in there. If they just focus on the job at hand and keep grinding out points, even the odd 2-1 win or 1-0 win or whatever, doesn't matter. Get them points. They've got to be in Champions League in order to rebuild and kind of build on what they've got. If they don't get Champions League, they're back to how they were under Jose. And you're attracting shit and you're just getting kind of has-beens for big contract money. And we don't want that. Bad enough of that.
I mean, like, obviously growing up in Man United dominated everything, I didn't think I'd see the day of it, but I suppose every team has their decades of dominance and then they have to rebuild from a certain point. Obviously, when Sir Alex went, that's where all the issues have come from, hasn't it? Because you pretty managed that club top to bottom pretty much, didn't you, along with David Gill.
Massively. That's the difference, isn't it?
Yeah.
That is the difference. You've got to have control of absolutely every aspect in order to make it work. And he had longevity as well. Yeah. I think so. There's
no more quality there.
It just looked bleak. you look at it, right, and I go through that team. You got Lingard, who's going to be gone. Henderson will be gone. Bailly will be gone. So Diallo's out the door at the minute. It's not going to be probably playing for team for a while. You've got, who's the other? Cavani will be gone. Ronaldo will be gone.
I did find that a strange one with Diallo, didn't you?
Yeah.
Because you want to progress that player to get used to playing the top level football, but he's going to be playing teams like Motherwell every week then.
I know.
It's going to work for him, is
Really
it? You know, it's going to be too complacent.
He was going to go somewhere else first, and it was like a really good loan move for him. I can't remember who it was.
It'd be good for him if he gets a title though, and that would like personal achievements. But maybe he will look.
Well, they're on about Thingy after him now. Fiorentina, I think, on loan. So, but then that besides, anyway. So then you've got the issue with Greenwood. Rashford's just not playing well at all. And then you've got McTominay and Fred, who, you know, my thoughts on it.
They were back together in the week, weren't they?
Yeah.
I think Fred was back.
Matic's too slow. Phil Jones, like him, but it's
going to be gone.
Days gone, isn't it? And you look through all that and you're like, we've no players left. This massive squad that we had, it's not going to be there anymore. But Pogba's going to be gone, 100%. Which that solves a problem. That could solve a massive problem.
Yeah,
United have had. You know,
I've been wanting him to go for years now. He just does me head in.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, on his day, look at him now, how he's playing. Bit of a
swagger about
him, you know, because he's playing for his move. He's not interested. Yeah. He just play how he wants to play. But when he's playing like that, he's a great player. But
it's what you see in the tournaments of France, isn't it? You see like a world-class player turning up for them, and then that's why I want him gone, because he just does my nutting when he plays so well there. Then he's so inconsistent for so many games, and then
boring here when he's playing for his club. He doesn't show up. But I think he might be the difference between United getting top four anyway. And if he sees us out by getting us in Champions League, then I don't know.
Yeah.
But Leeds, yeah, they always turn up against United to some aspect. You know,
definitely be up for it with the fans. Is this the first time they got the fans against United? No.
Yeah.
So they'll be well up for it. Yeah.
Big time.
I mean, it's a late place anyway, but when United are coming to 10, they've been waiting years and years for this.
They've been waiting for this, and then they had a lockdown. And they couldn't do it. So
that's why I was hoping that they didn't get relegated last season, because that would have been such a shame. You need teams like this in the Premier League, you know.
Yeah,
they had a great season, so they were fine. So. But this season's been a bit more of a challenge for them. But
okay.
They'll be all right. They'll be there again next year.
Yeah, they'll be there.
Under different management.
A bit of a change of some sort, don't they? Shake up.
Yeah. Something's gonna change there in the summer. You just like I say, the body language looks like Bielsa won't be there. If he is, he'll be gone halfway through the season, I think.
Yeah, I reckon. Right then. So, and you said both teams to score is the tip on that one.
Yeah.
So, last game of the weekend is the 4:30, which is your team, Wolves at home to Leicester.
Usually, this should have been a 4-3 banker. There's always a 4-3 between us two, but then the last 5 fixtures that we've had, I think there's been about 2 goals in them, and Leicester have had them both. The rest have been 0-0s. So, and the way Leicester are leaking goals, surely we've got to score against them at the weekend.
I think there'll be some goals in it.
I've gone 1-1, because I think there's something about every time I say it now, I think this is the 3rd time I've had to change my mind on it now. It seemed like we was becoming the home team, and now we've sort of dropped off on that again, becoming the away team again. It'll probably change again now I've said that. But, you know, I was more comfortable watching Wolves away from home under Nuno, feeling like we get something, we play better on the counter. And now we've sort of gone back to the way we were at the start of the season, losing 1-0 at home again. But where we felt like we should have got something out of the game. But
if you look at where Wolves are, honestly, mate, people ain't whinging at that. You're doing really well. Honestly, you ain't far away.
Wolves fans are.
Yeah, but everyone else is thinking, look at Wolves go.
Yeah. Everyone says, yeah, you listen to radio when we are mentioned, people are saying how well we are doing, and I am a realist to it all. I think this is a fantastic position for us. I'd never foreseen us being in this position at the start of the season.
I didn't, to be honest. I was thinking if they finished 10th, that's like an amazing season for Wolves this year.
Yeah.
Because everyone else is like strengthening, and obviously with Newcastle being taken over as well, and
Yeah. That's the thing.
A worry for a lot of teams now, that Newcastle thing. Because that knocks everyone else down a peg, I
think there will come a time where every Premier League team is owned by a billionaire, I think.
It's going to have to be. They've set the tone now. It's not going to be billionaires. It's going to be like
trillionaires.
Countries.
Yeah. This is the thing. I mean, like we mentioned about Leicester winning the league, that was 1 in a million. But if you'd have gone back with all the time without the money, it wouldn't have been 1 in a million, because you'd have had a bit more.
There must be a United supporter out there which is absolutely banked, right? And they literally must be looking at it thinking, wait till the end of the season, and I'm going to put the biggest figure in front of these American shithouses, because they are, though, them Glazers, honestly, ruined.
Yeah, I think they enjoy their income too much of it, even though there's loads of debts and loans to pay there, isn't there? But it just seems like loan after loan with them, doesn't it? But there's some very reluctant to sell up, aren't they?
It's got to come to a head sooner or later, surely.
Yeah, you'd think so. But
I'm still waiting. But so anyway, what are you saying? You saying 1-1?
I've said 1-1 on that, yeah.
I'm saying 2-2.
Yeah, it'd be an interesting one to see. It depends. I mean, like Leicester, I don't know how they're getting on tonight, but they're playing a team that should be beaten in Vanders from Denmark, who are in their winter break as well, so they should be hammering them, really. But if they get a good win there, might give them a bit of confidence, but obviously them issues are at the back, and we just need to try and capitalise on it. I'm hoping we can nick a win, but I think it's been hard to come by beating Leicester in recent times. Even when we have beat them, we've always made hard work of it. So
still a derby, innit?
Sort of. I don't class them as a rival. Maybe a league rival. I don't really class them as a Midlands rival.
Still a Midlands derby, though, isn't it?
Yeah. Bit of taste you if it was the Steve Bull and Steve Wolf days when they were fighting each other all the time. Again, there's always one of them got sent off for punching each other. Best mates now, though, apparently.
Are they?
Yeah. Yeah, it's a mad, isn't it? That's how we met on holiday. We had a punch up on holiday and we become best mates.
Pre-match focus, yeah.
No, we didn't have a punch up on holiday.
I had him in headlock. Nuggy on the head. Remember that?
Yeah. My kids would beat me up at the moment, so I need to get them in the gym. Yeah, that's it. I might as well say it's nice to get a bit of consistency in the league going until the England break comes. Oh, did you hear that the England games at Molineux in June?
Is it?
Yeah, one's behind closed doors. The best one of the two. There's 2 games at Molineux in June. Italy's behind closed doors, and then we got Hungary. So you need to get down for it.
That's the one. Yeah. Seriously, in June?
Get down in June. We'll try and get some tickets.
Well, let's do it then.
Yeah, as soon as I go up, I'll try and get onto it. Obviously, if you don't know, you're of Hungarian descent, aren't you? So,
yeah.
You know, I mean, the viewers don't.
That is the one, 100%.
Yeah, I'll keep my eyes peeled, and hopefully they give an offer to season ticket holders. Yeah,
well,
that'd be nice if they
tickets come available. We need to get on that then.
Yeah, because my concern is Molineux isn't really big enough to hold these type of games. So everyone be all over it, because they haven't hosted an international game since the 50s, I think. So everyone's going to be all over it, and then you're going to have people coming from out of the country.
Get on that for us then, Leroy.
Yeah, I'll keep an eye. We'll go in the Hungary end. Fuck it.
Oh, yeah. Oh, my
We
granddad.
won't be the only ones trying it, I bet you. We both look like a bunch of Albanians anyway on our pictures, all right.
These lightings and these videos, yeah, don't do anything for us. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah, I've got this pink background to take away my Jaundice colours. Anyway,
Well,
nice.
just
Have a good
wait.
week.
Did you even tell me a tip then?
Yeah, over 9.5 corners.
Oh, yeah. I just write it down.
I think they've averaged near to 10
Yeah.
in every encounter in recent times, so
That's
should happen again.
I agree. And I did hear that.
What, the corners?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that they're both those types of quite similar teams, to be fair, aren't we? So
I
yeah,
think that's a banker, that one. I think they will be definitely over 9.5 corners thinking about that game now. You're absolutely right.
depends if Trinko comes on and bloody balloons it out of the stadium like he does every other game.
Boring everyone to death.
Kasper Schmeichel always pulls off a worldie over the bar. So he'll tip every time he comes in, he pulls off some wonder save from someone will have a shot from 30 yards, he pulls off some wonder save.
And then you're going, just catch it.
Hopefully he just fumbles it and does a Lloris and just drops it to him and there's again.
It's got a mistake in him though, it's Kasper.
I suppose every goal he has.
Just never highlighted as much as other goals.
Yeah. But yeah, we'll be hoping for a blunder on Sunday. On Leicester's behalf.
I think if it's going to sway one way of the two, it's going to be in Wolves' favour, I think. So,
hoping so, but there's always a time when I think Leicester's team on paper is always too good to go for the way it does. So
yeah,
hopefully it's another game. So we seem to be the masters of turning teams' forms not in recent years, but in my growing up years. In recent times, we've been a little bit more consistent at stopping that rot. So hopefully we can nick the win.
I reckon Roman Saiz, whatever he's called. What's he called?
Romain Saiz.
Yeah, it is Roman Saiz. Yeah. I'm doubting myself. You know what you're saying? You're going, right.
Roman, whatever you want to call it. It's Romain. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's probably our longest, apart from Cody aside, our longest serving player, I think now. I
think he's going to score, mate.
Well, look at Leicester. They say again the corner against Leicester is better than getting a penalty at the moment. And they did it again against West Ham in the last minute, didn't they? So
always concede off corners at a minute.
Yeah.
Loads of them.
Yeah. Good shouts. Saiz is probably our
you're going to pull that one on, cheeky.
It'll be him or Kilman.
He's giving me one back.
Cody will be the best odds, but I wouldn't say he's the most dominant type in the air. So he has been going forward on the corners this year. So
Roman Saiz, you wait.
He's usually lower odds. He's one of our best scoring defenders we've had in recent years. So.
Yeah, absolutely.
Stick a 5 on it, probably get about 40, 50 quid back. So.
See, you heard it here first.
If you get that right, you've got the tips next week.
I chopped the referee 100 quid. Really. It's illegal, guys. Right, well, great to see you.
And you, mate.
Catch up.
Indeed.
Oh, we need to do an earlier one next week because we've got Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Do you know what? There's a week actually. There's Wednesday, I think it's Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday next week, you know.
Is it? Oh, God, yeah.
And I'm absolutely 100% it's this week, I'm sure it's. So, Wednesday, Premier League games, Burnley, Tottenham, Watford, Crystal Palace, Liverpool, Leeds. Thursday, Arsenal v Wolves. Friday, Southampton, Norwich. Saturday, loads of games. So it's Tuesday night, kiddo.
Good news for me. I'm off work next week, so I'm free most of it.
Daytime it is.
Yeah. Indeed, indeed. All right, so mates, have a good week.
Well, great to see you, and thanks to everybody for tuning in. Please like, share, subscribe. Like, share, and subscribe. Hit the bell button to keep up to date with our latest content. And we shall see you again for next week. And as we always say, don't put every single one on. Just pick them out and do a couple of